Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are every day. People would like to welcome you all to the show. I got to give a special thank to Marcus Mudd, A-Tone Productions, because he called it. He said Joe Biden wasn't going to be no better. Matter of fact, Joe Biden might be worse. And he called it. Joe Biden makes another gaffe, makes another statement demeaning black people. He stated that black people, unlike Latinos, are not diverse in their thinking. All right? So he put it out there. Right? He came back and tried to crawfish and apologize, but we understand what he's saying. See, right now, America is suffering. So when something suffers, they look to see what can they throw out. What do they deem as being not meaningful, that they can toss off the ship when the ship is sinking, right? So they weighing their options, and they saying, well, the Latinos, they speak Spanish, they speak in English, they providing a service, we can make money off of them and whatnot. And well, black people, most of them, all they know is Christianity and what happened during slavery. And their mindset, right? So they're weighing their options, right? So he'll come out and say, well, black people, now this is the person that's running for your vice president, right? Now he got two vice presidential candidates that he could choose from, right? He's saying, I think it'll either be Susan Rice or Kamala Harris, right? Because both of them have white spouses. I know one have children with the one. I don't know if the other one has children, but their thing is, look, I got a white spouse, so I have to be fair across the board because I'm a part of both sides, right? Even though they'll tell you stories of themselves being discriminated against, right? So since he used the term diversity, then we have to get into finances, right? And let me break this down for you, and then we'll get into the finance segment of it, right? Okay. America is going into what you call inflation, right? What is inflation? Inflation is when the interest rates is low and that dollar that you invest in is not making a big turn on its investments, right? It's slowly moving, meaning you're not getting a higher interest rate, so that means that you're not getting a higher percentage on your money, right? So the money is stagnant, it's slow. That you're not turning a big profit on your investments, so that creates inflation, right? Okay, now we want to get into diversity, right? Now, this is a definition of diversity, right? One, the condition of having or being composed of differing elements, right? Especially the inclusion of different types of people, such as people of different races or culture, in a group or organization. An instance of being composed of differing elements or qualities. An instance of being diverse, right? So what Joe Biden is saying, black people were not diverse enough, like from his mindset. He's saying that we stuck on one thing, Christianity, because he goes to the black preachers in order for him to even get the nomination, right? And our remembrance of slavery. He's saying that comprises the whole makeup of the black population in America, right? Now, let me show you where he's wrong at, right? Black people are the most diverse people on the planet. But we want to see who's going to bring this out, other than myself. You never heard of Afro-Latina? You never heard of blacks in Mexico? Oh. You never heard of Cantonese people in China, the black Chinese? The black Cambodians, the black Japanese? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, oh, wow. You never heard of the Moors? Nation of Islam, RBG, Pan-Africanists. Black people are not diverse. Black people got so many different fields of thought and ideologies that makes us diverse around the globe. You can travel the globe and see a black or a melanated or a Moor all the way to the Philippines, all the way in India. But the problem is you're right. We're not unified under melanin, right? Because we've been divided and conquered. So of course, we don't. I mean, we can look at it. We can look at that black Haitian and that black person in Panama and be like, I don't know them. Look how they speak. And look at that African. Look at the way he dressed. You know what I mean? Look at that Haitian. Look at that dark skinned black Indian, Pakistani Indian with the straight hair. That black Punjabi Indian with the straight hair. That's not my brother, right? Divide and conquer. We've been divided. We've been conquered, so we don't even recognize one another. We don't recognize that melanin, because one thing that melanin does, it communicates with other melanin. Example, okay, I'll give you an example. You can go anywhere where it's predominantly Caucasian, right? I don't care if you go to an old Caucasian high school and it's a few melanated people, right? Give it a minute, all the melanated people will find themselves sitting at the same lunch table or communicating with each other, because that melanin calls. It speaks to each other. It communicates with each other. That's diverse, right? But now we want to get into diverse or being diversified and dealing with economics, so we can put the money picture into play, right? Being diverse is, say, if you have some stocks, you got some bonds, you got some mutual funds, you got your money in diversification, meaning that you don't have all your eggs in one basket, right? Meaning that you might have some money in Bitcoins because the stock market is a little shaky. So you're trying to find the best way to make the most percentage off the money, make the most off the money that you put into something to get a higher rate of return, right? So you're diversifying your account, right? So either Joe Biden is only singling out black Christians and putting black Christians up front and saying this is the model in which we're going to deal with all black people in America, right? But we say, well, wait a minute. Haven't you heard of Brother Farrakhan? Haven't you heard of the Eileen Bays? Haven't you heard of the Hebrew Israelites? Haven't you heard of the Moors, the RBGs, the Pan-Africanists, the Marcus Garvey movement? What are you talking about? We not diversified in our thinking. More without Morenos, that's us too. So somebody is standing in the place and speaking on behalf of black people that's not authorized. And then they're taking what they say as being a blanket to cover all black people in the Americas. So when they make their decision on who we gonna throw off the ship, you got black leaders who will say, well, I tell you what, throw the ones off who shooting and killing each other, right? But those of us who got white spouses and we got mixed children, we ain't even help you get rid of them niggas. And we all unite and sing Kumbaya, and we shall overcome, and we'll wave bye-bye to the rest of the black population, I guess we could say that, right? So what are we going to do? I mean, it's a quagmire, man. This is a Mexican standout. You got Joe Biden on one hand, you got Trump on the other hand, and you got Kanye in the middle. Right? Like, whoa, come on. That's the show that we have to choose from. I mean, no, we don't have to choose from, because why? The Nation of Islam already said separation of debt. That's where we at now. That's where we at. Separate and build our own on land that's allotted to us, right? On certain amount of monies that's distributed to us to give us a good send-off. So therefore, in time, we can do it on our own and we don't need anyone's help. Speaking of the Nation of Islam got allies all over the globe. Farrakhan is treated like a head of a state because he is a head of a state. And you saying that black people are not diverse in their thinking? Wow, that was a powerful statement. Now we want to get into your portfolios, right? Since we tying in economic terminology, since he said diverse, right? Because this capitalistic society, so we thinking in capitalistic terms. A noun, a large, thin, flat case for loose sheets of paper, such as drawings or maps, to a range of investments held by a person or organization, right? Relating to, denoting, or engage in an employment pattern that involves a succession of short-term contracts and part-time work, rather than the more traditional model of a long-term single job. Your portfolio has to be invested in all cultures that's on this planet. Meaning the more different cultures you learn, the better your portfolio is. Meaning the more different schools of thought that you delve into, the more diverse you are and the more versatile you are, right? So when you suffering from, when you would hear the good reverend say, don't go nowhere near the Muslims, you cutting yourself off. You cutting your stream off. Cutting your stream of income. You cutting your social and your personal stream of flow off, right? Like you can cut your economics off. You can cut your cash stream, your cash flow. You can cut that off by having the wrong ideology or mismanaging funds, right? Well, when your pastor told you to don't go nowhere around them Muslims, then he cut you off. He cut your individual development of growth off. When they say don't go around them Hebrew Israelites, they cutting your growth off. Don't you go around them Moors, you cutting your growth off. So now all you got is just a handful of what the slave master gave. They don't even advise you to go near the Coptic Christians or the Gnostics. You got to get some of that in you too. You know, it's like if you suffer from an ailment. Most times, a lot of times the doctors don't describe you just one pill. They say, well, you know, you're going to take this for your pain. You're going to take this for muscle relaxers to relax your muscles. Drink this at this time because this going to help with this. Do this over here because this going to help with that. Exercise because this going to help with your heart or your cardiovascular. You know, you got to do certain things in order to help yourself. So when somebody say, well, don't do none of that, you just take this, what somebody gave me for you to take, and that's going to just be the cure, just to cure it all. That, you know, that's just all you're going to need, right? But what you fail to realize is now, because when you dealing with the enemy you dealing with, you need it all. That's why it's easy to come. That's why it's easy to come in and conquer, and you will have a church and liquor stores everywhere with no progression, because you're not getting the right medicine. You only getting this. You getting the baby dose. You giving adult males and adult females a baby dose of medicine, and you think it's gonna heal the community, and it's impossible. So, but what happened was, a lot of these preachers got tricked. They was putting them to sleep long enough to where they say, you know what, you know, you ain't really been doing nothing to diversify yourself and your portfolio. You know, you ain't really been teaching your people about other schools of thought. You only teaching them what we gave you to teach them during slavery, and you know that's not gonna suffice anymore. So I gotta cut you off. And they like, well, wait a minute, boss. I'm teaching them what you told me to teach them. And he said, well, I didn't make you do it. I just gave the call and you came. What the hell you come for? And they like, what? Damn. You done tricked me and bamboozled me again. Damn, now what I'm gonna do now, boss? I can't go back out there to my people and say, I done helped sell them out to you. And he like, that's your problem. You know? That's your problem, real. Your problem, real. You know what you need to do, real? Why don't you try doing well, you know, y'all like marching so much. Just playing another march, right? And you get out there and do your song and dance, and you know, maybe everything will be all right. He don't know. Right? But you gotta what? What you gotta do in that situation, you gotta keep hope alive. Keep hope now. Keep hope alive. Not substance, right? Not something that you can put your hand on. Not that. No. Not your economic development. Keep that prospering and developing and growing. No. Keep hoping. You know, just a little bit of hope. Sprinkle a little hope on it, and you know, one day things might just fall in the way you want it to. You know, I mean, you know, I'm not giving you a recipe. Then this is what they're saying. I don't have the recipe on what type of work or mathematics or science that it would take in order to accomplish a goal. I'm just saying hope on it, and you might get it and you might not. You know, because what they're telling you is they don't have the answer either. They don't know what they don't know. They don't have the foggiest. So first, Joe Biden can say, "Hey, look here, brother. You ain't black if you ain't voting for me. You know, you ain't what we made if you ain't voting for me." Okay. Then he come back and say, you know, you black people, y'all not as diverse as the Latinos, you know. Latinos, they speak in English, they speak in Spanish, you know, they know how to deal with the white man. They, you know what I mean? Yeah, of course, you know, we shoot them down in the streets as well, but, you know, they don't get out there and do a lot of protesting. Now, Trump, on the other hand, Trump's saying, hey, we got to round up all the illegals and send them back to wherever they came from. All right? Then black people are like, oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that, you know. But because why? We understand that, hell, Texas, California, all that was part of Mexico, so we saying, hey, they just coming back home. You know, we understand discrimination. We understand racism, so we don't stand for none of it. We'll keep this going right here on Verbal Pick Radio. And once again, appreciate your brother Marcus Mudd, A-Tone Productions. We might do a part 2 later on, and we out.